started hearing whispers about Thrawn's return.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
Lucasfilm is getting ready to release Ahsoka on Disney Plus later this month, and fans of the Star Wars franchise are of course super excited to get another installment into the galaxy far, far away, especially another installment a part of the Mandoverse. From everything that we've seen in the trailers, Star Wars Ahsoka will bring a bunch of Star Wars Rebels characters into live action, and it also teases a showdown with Grand Admiral Thrawn, Lars Mikkelsen. Not much else is known about Ahsoka other than that what we've seen and what the people involved in the series have said in the press. Ahsoka will have a 2-episode premiere on Disney Plus on August 23rd, a little bit later this month. And Disney Plus themselves have finally revealed the release schedule for the upcoming show. According to the official Star Wars social media accounts, Ahsoka will be released every Wednesday, of course, like every other Star Wars Disney Plus show, starting with 2 episodes on August 23rd. The series will feature 8 episodes and span 7 weeks into October of this year. With having 8 episodes, it's very similar to all seasons of The Mandalorian, unlike the Book of Boba Fett only reaching 7 episodes. And as I had mentioned, the first 2 episodes released together on August 23rd, very similar to what we saw the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus show do, the 3rd episode releasing the next week on August 30th, Episode 4 September 6th, Episode 5 on September 13th, Episode 6 on September 20th, Episode 7 releasing on September 27th, and Episode 8 releasing the first week of October 4th. I believe that the release schedule for the Ahsoka series is very straightforward. It's very cool and exciting, I think, at that, to see something about an official release schedule for these Disney Plus shows, seeing for how long we actually get to enjoy these Disney Plus shows, and I'm beyond excited for the Ahsoka series, just like many of you as well. I too have grown up with Ahsoka as an overall character, first seeing her in the Clone Wars movie, throughout the Star Wars The Clone Wars animated show, and then seeing her in Star Wars Rebels. So for one thing, seeing her in live action in The Mandalorian Season 2 and in the Book of Boba Fett, to her finally having her own show, is beyond incredible and so long overdue. Of course, we are going to be breaking down and reacting to every episode of Ahsoka here on the channel. All the more reason to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and join us here today. On top of that, we also have a new little bit of a tease here for Ahsoka, as the actress Rosario Dawson compared Ahsoka to Gandalf in a weird way. I'll talk about this in more detail and in more depth in a later video here on the channel, but essentially, Rosario Dawson had the chance recently to speak with Entertainment Weekly before the ongoing SAG-AFTRA strike began, and she compared Ahsoka Tano to Gandalf from The Lord of the Rings. In the interview, Rosario Dawson compares how both characters transition from wearing white to gray in their respective appearances across the various mediums, and it's kind of spot on when comparing the two, as she says that, in quote, "In the animation you saw her go to the white, but what I love is the idea that there was even another level to her," Rosario Dawson said. "Dave Filoni and I talked a lot about Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White from Lord of the Rings, talking about that transition and how she's someone very capable and excellent and looked up to as a leader, but she still has levels of development to actually go." Ending that quote right there, she is definitely a very leaderish type of character by the time that we're especially seeing her finally in her own Disney Plus show. The Ahsoka series, as I had mentioned a little bit earlier on in this video, is taking place alongside in the Mandoverse, specifically recently revealed by Sabine actress in live action Natasha Liu Bordizzo, saying that it's taking place at the same time as The Mandalorian Season 3. Now, I don't want to completely go off on a tangent about this, and this is another thing I'd like to talk about in more detail and in more depth in another video here on the channel, but I don't believe that to be entirely the case, as we saw Brendan Wayne, one of the Mandalorian, the guy that's actually in the armor normally for the Mandalorian, had signed Sabine Wren, Natasha Liu Bordizzo's birthday card on set while they were filming the Ahsoka series. So why on earth would he be on set if he wasn't playing the Mandalorian? I think coincidence? I think not. Although I definitely believe there to be some type of overlap for the Mandalorian Season 3 and the Ahsoka series, I feel pretty pretty certain that the Ahsoka series will be taking place a little bit after The Mandalorian Season 3. Anyway, as I had to mention, this is something I want to discuss in a separate future video here on the channel. All the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. So back to what Rosie Dawson was saying about comparing Ahsoka to Gandalf. If you're very familiar with the Lord of the Rings either books or even the movies, you would know that Gandalf is like the most powerful character, just about, almost, in the actual franchise, and I think that she's kind of comparing Ahsoka in that kind of way, not necessarily saying that, oh, she's all-powerful and the most powerful character in Star Wars necessarily, but with the group of characters that we're dealing with, which is a bunch of non-Force users or non-Force sensitive characters like Harrison Dula or Sabine Wren, she's definitely more looked up upon towards with those characters. Also in the sense of that both Ahsoka and Gandalf have magical characters, unlike all of the other characters that they're dealing with in those franchises. Anyway, as I had mentioned, it's a very interesting tease overall and a very interesting way to compare these two characters, and I'm excited, beyond excited, to see the development with Ahsoka in the Ahsoka series. It definitely feels like from much of the marketing and trailers and promotions for the Ahsoka series, it feels like at this point in time in the Star Wars timeline that Ahsoka's at her wisest. She's kind of at her capstone. We can't really see her grow all that much more, and that's not just with the trailers or the marketing or promoting for the Ahsoka series, but also with how we've seen her in the Book of Boba Fett, especially with Luke Skywalker, but also with the Mandalorian and the Mandalorian Season 2, but really specifically with Luke Skywalker. I mean, you take a character like Luke Skywalker, an all-powerful, the guy that actually defeats Darth Vader and brings peace to the galaxy, and he's looking up to Ahsoka. I think it really says a lot about her and her overall character, and it kind of does pin her towards a point and to a question of where can we take this character next? Where can we make her actually grow and develop and make her actually interesting? So I'm beyond excited to see that with this character. Of course, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below into the regards of not just this tease with Gandalf comparing to Ahsoka. All the more reason, as I had to mention, to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll be talking and discussing more about this in a more separate future video here on the channel, delving more into that overall, but I also want to hear what you guys are all thinking about the release schedule for the Ahsoka series. I know, very straightforward, but still very exciting. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. The fan favorite Star Wars hero, Ahsoka Tano, returns in the brand new series on Disney+. Rosie Dawson stars in Star Wars Ahsoka, premiering on August 23rd on the streaming platform Disney+, with a 2-episode premiere. The series will pick up after the events of The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, in which we saw the former Jedi searching for Grand Admiral Thrawn, who's being portrayed by Lars Mikkelsen, who also plays his voice in the Star Wars Rebels animated show. And with helping Luke Skywalker train Grogu, Ahsoka will be joined on her new mission alongside longtime allies and friends Sabine Wren, who's being played by Natasha Liu Bordizzo, and Harrison Dula, who's being played by Mary Elizabeth Winston, as they attempt to track down Thrawn and their friend Ezra Bridger. Thrawn, who was last seen disappearing to the far reaches of space in the unknown regions after a confrontation with Ezra Bridger, who's going to be played by Iman Estefani in the live-action Ahsoka series. Star Wars Ahsoka is the latest live-action series from Lucasfilm's creative duo of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.